Thank you so much to everybody who is supporting me on Patreon. Your generosity and support is greatly appreciated. I love you all so much. If you like what I do and want to support me in a more personal way, then consider joining my Patreon page today. There will be a link at the top of the description.
Hello and welcome to a showcase video for the Triton Lego Railway layout. This is segment number 5, the middle area for the goods yard. This is the middle part of the goods yard, and it's also the most boring part. I mean, there's not really too much besides a bunch of track and a big old gantry crane. We will get to that in just a moment. The outside part of the layout is just as boring as any other segment, or at least for the goods yard. There are more miscellaneous structures just to help break up the boring blandness of the base plates, but the majority of the exciting stuff happens on the inside of the layout. This is called a gantry crane. It's big and beautiful. The first time I discovered this was actually in GTA 5. You know that docks mission you do with Trevor? It was pretty cool to see something like that, and this is nowhere near that sort of scale. But I knew for a fact that when I rediscovered this, when it came to making the layout, I had to build something like this, of this size, and just, get it somewhere. The gantry crane is in yellow, which is quite nice in comparison to all the other colours I have used. When you look at the Lego City kind of construction sets, yellow seems to be the dominant colour, and I thought that's not a bad idea. I was able to find some of the pieces from the 2014 City train set as well. Some of the wheel pieces and how they run on the rails. I thought it was a pretty good idea. Now, I have been told by a few people, well, Dad specifically, about motorising this thing, and yes, it is possible, but it's going to be quite tricky. I'm not quite there yet. For now, this is complete, and I am very happy with this. Now, of course, the gantry crane can move. It does go into the previous segment by one track piece, and overall it doesn't look like it has that much wiggle room, but it's actually quite nice just to see something so massive move across the rails like this. There are areas where it bumps and gets a little bit caught like this here, and it is quite frustrating. I can't really make anything smoother, but then again, it is probably just because of the old tracks I'm using. These are the old blue tracks. I've got loads of these. I didn't think to buy any of the dark grey or light grey tracks. It was mainly for colour because they blend into the base plates a little too much, but at the same time they were probably smoother. So in a future update, I probably might have to get some new track pieces. Now, of course, the crane piece itself does actually, well, come off for a start. But it is operated using a similar piece used in one of the City train sets. I thought it was quite nice to use just because I still had it built up. It moves along the rails nice and smoothly. It can pick up, well, pretty much anything so long as it's got that hook attachment piece. I haven't tested any heavy weights to this, however, so, don't take my word on that. Now, to turn this around for just a moment, there is a way on and off the gantry crane. Of course, there is a massive, long, sort of slender ladder from the bottom all the way to the top. It doesn't cover the wheels, but that's not too much of a problem. And of course, this is turned around. This isn't how it would actually be positioned because it's facing the tracks. Not safe, and I want to do what I can to try and keep it a little bit realistic. I'm not a massive sort of train expert. I just like building things, and of course, this will be facing the road and more safer position. Now we have a road area. I don't know what you would officially call this, whether it's just a plain unloading area or just some transition area. Again, I'm not a major railway enthusiast, so the name for this is kind of lost to me. But you get the idea just by looking at it. This is where lorries and trucks would come along to load and unload their goods from their vehicles to the railway wagons, whether it's crates or basically anything else that could be unloaded via the crane. It's using these 16x16 road plates, which I think are very interesting to use. Sadly, I don't have any of the 8x16 plates. I do have some plain ones, but not the kind of city road ones, which is a bit of a shame. Nonetheless, I was able to fill this area quite well, and I'm actually really pleased with how this turned out. Now, with how segment 4 led into segment 5, this segment, which is number 5, is going to be leading into segment number 6. This is a modified piece of narrow gauge track, and narrow gauge is finally being introduced to the railway. I have been thinking about this forever. Basically, ever since I started the layout, which is quite fascinating because I've made narrow gauge trains, and I've got narrow gauge tracks, so how the hell am I going to do it? Well, stick around for the next video and you will see. And there we go, that is the end of this showcase video. This is segment number 5, the middle part of my goods yard. Oh, it's such an interesting piece. The gantry crane and the road area is basically the highlight. If you just look at this front half, it's really plain and bland, which is a bit of a shame. But like I said last time, I've seen the entire goods yard put together, and it all comes together as one incredible piece. So thank you to all of my patrons who are supporting me making this layout. If you want to support me in a more personal way, I will leave a link to the Patreon page in the description. It is at the very top. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.